Back in the 1800s, tea was serious business. I mean, really serious. It wasn't just a cozy drink you had at 4 o'clock with a biscuit. Nope, it was money. Big money. And in 1866, something wild happened that turned the tea world into a full-on ocean race. What shaped this contest? It's about sails, storms, steam, and a whole lot of tea. This account laid it out step by step. Tea came to Europe from China in the 1700s. At first it was a luxury, only the rich could afford it, but pretty soon it spread like wildfire. Everyone in Britain wanted their tea. By the mid-1800s, they were drinking it morning, noon and night. It became part of daily life, kind of like how coffee is now. But getting that tea from China to Britain, yeah, that was the tricky part. It had to travel over 14,000 miles across dangerous seas. Ships took months to make the journey, and the sooner they got the tea there, the fresher it was. Fresher tea meant more money. Now, for a long time, one company called the East India Company controlled the tea trade. They had it locked down. But in 1834, their control ended, and boom, the competition started. Merchants scrambled to get their tea to Britain faster than the next guy. That's when clippers came in. These ships were built for speed, sleek, sharp, and loaded with sails. They could cut through the ocean like a hot knife through butter. Some of them could hit 30 kilometers an hour with good wind, pretty fast for a wooden ship back then. Fast forward to 1866. The tea crop was ready in China, and 16 of the fastest clippers in the world lined up in a Chinese port called Fuzhou. Their goal? Get to London first with their cargo of fresh tea. First up was the Ariel. She loaded up 1,230,000 pounds of tea and left on May 28th. Right behind her was the Fiery Cross, packing 854,000 pounds, leaving just 12 hours later. Then came the Taiping and the Serica. Taiping had 1,108,000 pounds. Serica carried 954,000. They sailed out together. Taitsing, with 1,093,000 pounds, left the next day. Back in Britain, people were hyped. Newspapers reported every update. Bets were flying left and right. It wasn't just about business anymore. It was a full-on public spectacle. Ariel left first, but she ran into a little trouble at the start. She got stuck at the Min River Bar, basically a tricky sandbar near the port. That gave Fiery Cross a chance to slip ahead by a good 14 hours. Taiping and Serica left just minutes after Ariel. All three caught the same tide. From there, it was 99 days of racing across the globe. The South China Sea gave them a rough welcome. Storms rolled in, winds whipped the sails, rain slammed the decks. The crews worked around the clock to make sure those precious tea chests stayed dry. Any water damage would ruin the cargo. And if that happened, say goodbye to the prize money. Imagine being out there for weeks. No internet, no GPS, just wind, waves, and willpower. From China, they crossed the China Sea, dodging islands and reefs like the Paracels. They sailed past the coast of Vietnam, back then called Annam, through the Sunda Strait and into the Indian Ocean. After that came the Cape of Good Hope at the bottom of Africa, one of the most dangerous parts of the trip. Wild waves, unpredictable weather, and sharp rocks. Then it was north through the Atlantic, passing west of the Azores, heading for home. Ariel took the lead early and spotted Taiping on June 2nd and 10th. By the time they reached St. Helena, Serica was closing in too. Everyone was still in the game. Taiping and Fiery Cross actually met up on August 9th, sailing side by side, but on August 27th, the winds changed and they had to split paths. One got the better breeze. It was neck and neck the whole way. While all this was going on, something new was happening. A steamship called Earl King left China on June 5th. That was 8 days after Ariel. But this baby didn't need wind. She ran on steam. And she got to London on August 22nd, 15 days before any clipper. What took the clippers 99 days took Earl King 77. And she wasn't alone. Another steamship, the Agamemnon, made it to China in just 65 days. Not only that, she carried 3 times the tea that a clipper could. This was big. Steam was coming, fast, powerful and reliable, no more waiting for the wind to change. On September 6th, Ariel was the first to reach a place called Deal near the English coast. But the race wasn't over. The ships still had to be towed up the River Thames to their docks in London. And here's where things got really close. Tapping reached London docks at 10:15 in the morning. Ariel docked at East India Docks at 10:43, just 28 minutes apart, after sailing for 99 days. Erica rolled in at 11:30. All 3 ships, after crossing half the world, arrived within a couple of hours. Crazy, right? Fiery Cross showed up 28 hours later. Tightsing came in the day after that. Timing was everything, and this time it was tight. Because Tapping docked first, she technically won. That meant her owners got the 10 shilling per ton bonus. That added up to about £500. Not a fortune, but definitely worth it. But here's the twist. Because Ariel King had already brought in a bunch of tea early, the market price dropped. Tea wasn't as valuable anymore. The owners of Ariel and Taiping decided to split the bonus to avoid any drama. Fair enough. Newspapers loved it. They called it the closest finish ever. People couldn't get enough. But it was also the last time that prize money would be offered. The tradition ended that year. After 1866, steamships started to win. Air King had proved it. Faster, stronger, and able to carry more tea. Sails just couldn't compete. Then in 1869, the Suez Canal opened. This cut off over 3,000 miles from the journey. And guess what? Clippers couldn't use it well. They needed wide open sea to sail. But steamships, they zipped right through. By 1870, steamships were cheaper to insure, cost less to run, and got better prices. Clippers still raced for a while. The famous Cutty Sark made a few more runs. But by 1872, even she had to bow out. Steam ruled. The age of sail was over. The Great Tea Race of 1866 wasn't just a race. It was the final showdown between old and new, between wind and steam. Clippers like Taiping, Ariel and Serica raced 14,000 miles and arrived within minutes of each other. It was the peak of what ships under sail could do. But Air King and Agamemnon showed what was coming. The future had arrived and it ran on steam. Still, that race left a mark. It showed the world what speed, strategy, and sheer determination looked like. And even today, it's remembered as one of the greatest shipping races of all time. So the next time you sip your tea, think about the wild ride it used to take to get to your cup, and maybe give a little nod to the sailors who raced the wind across the sea.